Yo, what's good, world? What's good? It's your boy Preezy, back with another edition of Industry Insights, where I share shrewd words of wisdom from various entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, entertainers, and other great figures within the business sector. Today, I'll be sharing 10 industry insights from late musical icon Prince Rogers Nelson to help inspire you to reach your peak as an entrepreneur. Enjoy.
The gatekeepers, they know who they are. We don't need to name names, but rest assured, they aren't musicians. They don't have anything to do with music. If you sit one of them in the room and you ask them, what is it that you do? How did you get this job? A lot of them came from law. A lot of them came from accounting and things like that. They're merchants, basically. And it's not to disrespect them or demean their role in any way, but at the same time, you can't expect them to know who they're signing and sort of gatekeep the music. I would just want it to be good music, and I'd want it to be littered with artists who own their master rights, because without that, they don't own any wealth. They can't put back into their communities. Very few artists that do own their masters right now. When that changes in the future, you'll see more radio stations being purchased. You'll see airwaves changing ownership rapidly. It's helped the people who sell the music. You know, for an artist, you know, they don't make the money they used to. And I think we tend not to value things we can get for free.
Right.
If you put anything in the place of music and say you got it for free, you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, we sort of expected it. One nice thing about this record is that it was delivered to every concert goer via AEG and NPG in conjunction. And we knew when the tickets were sold how many people would actually have the album. Knowing that, we brought Sony on board, and they've really helped to augment the sales and get even a more national exposure for the album.
That one idea, that simple idea, it sounds simple, but not many people, anybody has really done this before, to give the CD away to everybody who buys a concert ticket. A novel approach, but one that has now all of a sudden rewritten the rules a little bit. Has it not?
Well, the rules were made by people who don't really play music, so I think some of them need to be rewritten.
And they're being rewritten already as we speak. In fact, I believe SoundScan has already changed the way they're going to account for other groups in the future who use the same strategy here, but you've been grandfathered in for musicology. Well,
to some degree we have. All truth be told, SoundScan has not really counted all the albums that have gone out to concert goers. And the album is included in the ticket price, and we do get paid back for the album sale. At the same time, there's roughly 450,000 copies that they haven't counted. So that being said, the rules do need to be rewritten a bit. I don't mind fans singing the songs. My problem is when the industry covers the music. See, covering music means that your version doesn't exist anymore. A lot of times people think I'm doing Sinead O'Connor's song,
right,
and Shaka Khan's song, yes, when in fact I wrote those songs. And it's okay when my friends ask to do them, but there's this thing called the compulsory license law, which allows artists through the record companies to take your music at will without your permission. Actually, when I would sit down with artists just hanging out, you know, chilling, not doing anything in particular, we would talk about the trials and tribulations of the industry all the time. And we would talk about ways that we could change things if we had our way. Unfortunately, all of us were signed to these really restrictive agreements where you can't get out of them until you deliver X amount of product. And that product would actually belong to the corporation that you're recording for. Now, the reason why it became such a big deal back then is ever since my third album, I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. and I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise, and they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, you know, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist much longer. The friction that I had with the record company, you know, a lot of it was based in not so much that, but just relationship in general. You know, it's hard to work with somebody who, you know, you're absolutely sure they hate your guts. You know, no. Some of those people will speak the contrary, but you know, you go by and hear what you're feeling, and it was time to move on. You know, we did that. It was a good relationship. I have mostly fond memories of it, you know, and I learned from it. And I wouldn't know freedom like I do now had I not gone through it. Well, first of all, there's no hate involved. I mean, I welcome the industry to stay and remain the way it is. I mean, it's actually good because, you know, when I'm sitting talking with somebody like Anita Baker, we can point to the industry as the way we don't want to do it anymore. We don't believe in free goods, and we don't believe in, you know, 90% of the contract the way it's written now, the standard contract. We don't believe in 360 deals. Anybody that signs one of those are absolutely crazy. But it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. Well, for real artists such as myself, I'm trying to make a career out of this. So I don't want to just have one album and then out of here. That's what a lot of young acts are about these days, and the record companies are cool with that because then they kind of get a disposable, quick fix off these young acts and then move on to the next one. They also don't have to make any long-term deals, which means that the act is going to make a great deal more money than just coming out with their first record. The situation I have with Sony is unique in the sense that they respect my career, and they understand that it's important that we own the work, so there isn't an issue about that, and they've just been beautiful all the way around. It's a double-edged sword, you know. A lot of artists aren't getting paid full scale for their art, and the internet, because of downloading and things like that, is kind of like a black hole, and it's hard to audit, it's hard to get accounting, and it's not that it's just about the money, but it's about justice and fairness. And when people say that they love you and they respect you, but at the same time take, you know, 80% of your earnings, then expect you to fix your own communities, and they'll probably edit all of this out, but then it gets, that's the sharp part of the sword, and we're at the wrong end of it right now. So eventually, with courageous people going out there and actually saying something and standing up for it, I think we'll get some balance. I think it's because I'm not signed with a major label. Target is not a record company. They're a distributor and a retail store, and a very good one at that. 30 million people go through their stores every week. So they get a chance to pick up the Lotus Flower record. The beautiful thing about the relationship is that they're treating us like any other record company. They buy the same amount and they pay the same price. So, you know, we've done quite well already.